Ladies and gentlemen, we're back again bringing you some more DZG League of Legends, but now for the first time ever, we have DZG Styx coming into the MetaShift League, taking on Sun Church. I'm joined here tonight with Silent Elements, and we are already into the bans as both Pike, Blitzcrank have been taken away from the side of DZG, and DZG respond by taking Ezreal, Yuumi away on the red side. Kendra joins the last ban for blue side, and Silent Elements, what are some of the big things that you're looking to see tonight, man?
Honestly, I'm surprised such priorities focus on bot lane. Traditionally, top or mid have been relatively the stronger lanes in terms of solo queue and flex, so I'm really interested in seeing what is going to happen out of bot lane that they're so afraid of.
Well, it looks like they are prioritizing AD carry. No surprise there. Jinx will be the pickup on the blue side, and that champion's just so much priority. Just sits in the back lane, rocket after rocket, and it's always interesting to see what a team wants to build around that, and also really how DZG want to answer that. And I know that you've quite a lot of experience out of the bot lane. What do you really want to see the snapback response here coming from DZG?
Honestly, there's two ways to really take advantage of Jinx. Usually it's mobility or just pure range, and it looks like Styx has chosen pure range.
Pure range will be the answer, and I do want to see what they're going to pair that up with. But we really haven't seen too terribly much of DZG Styx just because they've been practicing for a while, have had a few roster iterations. I know that they're primarily a top-focused team, as Thresh will actually join that to pair up with a Caitlyn. So definitely, and no surprise there, Clowney going ahead and picking up that Enchanter. They played 4 ranked games on this account in the last 3 months, and 2 months, sorry, and 3 of them have been Lulu, so no surprise there. Hecarim being covered now, and probably going to be locked in. So, we see the bot lanes. How do you feel about the matchups here?
I honestly think that if Caitlyn can maintain her range and put out damage, I think Lulu's shield will eventually force her to use mana, but at the same time, if Jinx is allowed to scale, it's going to start becoming in favor of Jinx simply because Caitlyn's strength is literally bullying early.
Certainly. And then putting a lot of eggs into that Jinx basket there, the Lulu going to be able to do it, or do a lot with the wild growth coming in. And DZG said, okay, Hecarim will respond with the Trundle being piloted by Q in the jungle for DZG. So once again, we have that talk about that bot lane matchup. Now we also have the jungle matchup to discuss here. So how you feeling about the Hecarim and Trundle, or vice versa?
I feel like Hecarim just creates a lot more pressure across the lanes early. Trundle can eventually get there, but I think that Lulu makes it easier to and a lot more difficult for Styx to get into the backline due to the polymorph, and we're looking at other bans.
Well, we now have Jax being taken away, and it looks like DZG Styx is focusing on the top lane, and Sunchurch is now focusing here on the mid lane. Just based on how the ban patterns have gone, I would not be surprised to see another mid laner come in, and it is the TF taken away from Jakana from DZG Styx. So definitely a little bit of a different priority here. Now, DZG, I imagine they're going to pick up their mid laner here with the interest in prioritizing that top lane ban. But definitely want to see what Dracana wants to pick here blind, if that is going to be the case.
Yeah, it was interesting to see since Sun's mid lane seems to be purely also another support main, so I'm expecting maybe a Nivea or a Seraphine, something that can kind of sustain lane and just exist.
Well, we talked about scaling in the form of Jinx, and we definitely have scaling coming in here from Cassiopeia. That champion is just able to shred through targets. Now, Sunchurch coming in with a blind pick for the top lane, and it looks like it might be the Kled. When it comes to moving fast, this team has it in spades. Jinx with the Excite, Hyper, Lulu with the speed ups, Hecarim's the fastest as all hell, Kled with his ultimate, and Oriana definitely has some ball delivery systems in place to really round out that comp. So definitely a strong showing here in the draft phase from Sun Church, and I want to see what DZG want to respond with this last counter pick on the top side. Time ticking away. DZG know what they're up against, and it's going to be 3 seconds. Come on. Too much suspense. We get a Yorick for the split push, so that's interesting identity on this team. In the fact that, like, I can't identify one other than the 4 members of DZG try to stop a death ball comp and have York do stuff in the side lane. That's the only thing that I can think that team really has going for it in the terms of identity. But we see both sides here. Quick recap: we have Kled in the top lane, jungle Hecarim, mid lane Orianna, Jinx and Lulu for the bot lane of Sunchurch, and then for DZG Styx we have York in the top lane, Trundle, jungle, Cassiopeia in the mid, Caitlyn, Thresh in the bot lane. We see both team comps. How are you feeling about this, Silent?
In terms of ease of execution, I would say Sun has a easier time to execute. Literally, they want to run at the team and literally death ball, while DZG Sticks is maintaining that macro. As long as they can maintain the better macro and the split push is still a viable option for their team. I honestly think that York can be a threat in the other lane, especially with him and his maiden. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out, especially since Cassiopeia and Trundle and Thresh definitely can peel for this Caitlyn and kind of slow down this death ball that's going to be hurling at them while York tries to split push.
Certainly. Now, from the side of DZG, I'm a little concerned here just based on the fact that a split push threat is a great way to dismantle a team fighting comp. If you're able to draw away the pressure, cause them to split, they're not able to deliver their full effects, fantastic. However, one of these things that's interesting about the Sunchurch comp here is that they have a lot of map mobility as well. Literally every single individual on this team, um, Jinx kind of being aside, she needs kills or a tower, have some sort of map a speed boost, right? They're able to get around the map quickly. Um, and actually, one thing that I'm not too familiar with is how Kled can handle the 1v1 situation against York. Any thoughts on that?
I honestly have not personally experienced this matchup. I think it's favored to York as long as he can get his level, since Kled probably wants that early level 3 engage. So probably the 1, 2, and 3 levels are probably important for Kled if he can create a lead there. But I think York just outscales him in the long run. So I think it's the strength of DZG Styx' bot lane to kind of create some kind of impact on bot lane while their mid and top kind of scale. Whereas on the other side, Jinx wants time to scale, and Kled is actually stronger early, while both mid laners basically want to handshake this lane and kind of let their junglers kind of make impacts on either their lane or other lanes.
Certainly, and there's plenty of X factors in this game. I really want to see how Drakus is going to be able to pilot this Thresh to hopefully dismantle the advantage that Jinx and Lulu will expect to have late game. If they're able to snowball Caitlyn early, that would be fantastic to watch. And then also seeing, Cassiopeia really scale up and be able to neutralize some of the scaling effects that they have on the side of Sunchurch would be fantastic to see as well. However, just looking at pure team comp right now, I personally want to give favor over to Sunchurch just because it's an easy to execute composition. There's some very scary tools like the Shockwave coming out of the Orianna. What about you? Final thoughts?
I also concur with that assessment, but mainly purely because I can see Hecarim, Orianna, and Jinx. They're honestly my favorite ones in those roles specifically. So honestly, I think that it's easier to execute, but at the same time, if these EG sticks can maintain a better macro, I think that they can handle this death ball that Sun is trying to recreate.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, especially in a plat league, you never know which side the coin's going to fall when it lands. But with that being said, we're going to head into a quick spectate delay, so catch us soon as Sunchurch takes on DZG Styx in the first week of the MetaShift week.
Town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are hitting the rift out. Well, I say we're hitting the rift, but it's taking Kled and Oriana a little bit more time to get outside of that gate here. But everybody has their items, everybody's heading out. It's looking like a standard 5-man fan here, as yeah, kind of not expecting to get too much action going on. But taking a look at everything, we do see the ignite up here in the top lane for Kled. SSJ UI Ivern, who's just going to be calling Ivern for the rest of this game. Hopefully that doesn't confuse anybody. But Silent, anything crazy that you're seeing here aside from the cleanse on that Jinx?
Honestly, everything's pretty normal outside of the ignite that you noticed. I think it's honestly the attempt to try to take advantage of Kled's early levels.
Minions have
Um,
spawned.
so it will be interesting to see since they don't have a teleport, so they can't react to your split push that quickly. So they are literally going to have to run at him.
Certainly, and that is a very interesting choice, right? If you have a team comp, or a team comp that's looking to fight, looking to deathball, and then you say, you know what, we're gonna go for the early lane fight style, and maybe just try to take it over in that regard and shut down the York. I don't know if that speaks to the confidence coming here out of Sun Church, or whether it's just a little bit of how they want to play the map, but it's certainly probably the most interesting thing to take a look at. Now, we have the hook from Drakus, and we have traps, and later we have the Cassiopeia ult. But outside of that, how do you feel about that cleanse coming in from Jinx here?
Honestly, I think it's a really safe pick, especially with Lulu. I don't think you really have to worry too much about heals. Honestly, I'm kind of interested in seeing that both junglers are opting for that full clear mode. So honestly, I would have thought that Hecarim would have wanted to make that early impact on top lane, especially doing the 3 camp and then go straight to a top gank. since his top laner does have the ignite, has the claw, but it looks like they're both opting to do a full clear.
Certainly, so that will be interesting, and then it's always kind of the break point. I really don't expect to see too much action coming out of just the 1v1s or the 2v2 of the bot lane here, unless, you know, a hook lands, but DZG bot lane going to be shoving this one in and, you know, kind of just bouncing the wave a little bit. That's a good early CS lead here coming out for DZG Astra. Fun enough, we get an Ocean Drake for the first one of the day, so I think that one definitely, with the way that these teams are looking, is going to be a pretty high priority just because of the amount of lane sustain that it will offer. So definitely want to see what that's going to boil out into here as we go into the future. Getting some trades in at the top lane, Q going up here, getting on top to Ivern, who will blow the flash. A great pillar coming in, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Still has access to the mount, but you take that. Dismounted and a flash coming out of Ivern here. DZG striking early.
Yeah, it looks like we're about to see another fight on the Scuttle.
And maybe gonna get that fight up here, as it will be Q going on to Butter Chicken. Butter Chicken is now popping the ghost, running around really fast. Ivern coming down here, but does not have access to the mount. Dracana had the push in mid lane, so was able to meet here first, and Scuttle Crab goes over to DZG.
It was unfortunate to see Chunel miss the pillar on the Scuttle.
Shane now here fighting Ivern. Butter Chicken is still on the top side of the map. Fled will be remounting soon, looking to go under tower here. And that will be a flash coming out of Shane. There's going to be a lot of action going on here. Will be enough. Tower will not seal steel, and Ivern takes the first blood on the Kled. No, now he's doing everything that he can. He does not have access to the flash. He's able to shotgun over the wall. Butter Chicken here to hover to get him out to safety. And that is very well played from the top lane of Sun Church in this early game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, since I would have thought that Caitlyn would have wanted to use the range more to abuse the Jinx and force out the shields, but at this moment it looks like they're just handshaking this lane. Although Astro does have the lead in CS, you do not want to handshake the lane with Jinx since her ability to carry the late game.
Yeah, certainly, it's a ticking time bomb, and you know, whenever you're just letting the timer tick, like that is definitely not the optimal strategy. But going back to it, we talked a little bit about the interesting life choices here for Ivern in the top side. Ivern Kled. As maybe we'll call him. I'll figure it out eventually what I want to do. But taking that Ignite, and it paid off. And Shane definitely not respecting the damage coming out there, and just the complete bullshit that is the Kled dismount, remount, and vulnerability windows. So it was super close. Tower almost got him, and he lived with like 2 HP under that tower, which is that last shotgun shot did hit in. Things kind of just getting to a little bit of a normal pattern as DZG is farming well, but that first blood keeping things super even.
Yeah, that top fight definitely went the way that we had predicted with the Ignite, where Kled would try to force that early fight, especially if he got him into the river. Hopefully, you know, York gets to outscale this in the long run.
That is always so annoying when that connects and those minions just jump at you. It is such a feels bad moment. But Shane coming back up into this top lane in true fashion, 14 CS up on Ivern's Kled here, so it's feeling pretty good for him if he's able to keep this momentum going. It looks like both junglers here hanging out on the top side. We might see more. Dracana is level 6, he uses Petrifying Gaze, but Orianna was not pointed the right way. That is barrier coming out. Dracana has no more mana to do anything more than that. Ivern now going in aggressively onto Shane, and it will be a dismount, and I think that's all she wrote. Feud on the top side of the map, popping the sweeper, no vision there to be found, and I don't know if we're going to get a dive here, but that will be an invade on the top side as Hector is currently doing his Grom. Now Maiden is popped, they're going to look to apply some pressure here. Trundle moving into the top side, bushes not seen, and Ivern will have the mount soon, so should feel pretty safe. Now, Butter Chicken is hanging around at the top side, but there's nothing to get, so I think he might either A, wait for the Scuttle, or B, invade here as well. But they're going in. Ivern is now here. Did not know there was a Trundle on that bush. He's going to get dismounted very soon, but will it be enough? He's going to get to safety, I think. And DZG just cannot lock this man down. Ivern survives another game.
It's going to be, now we're looking at the Hecarim kind of hover, so top looks like where all the action is going to happen.
Butter Chicken is now here, but Q stayed around, and it will be a fight breaking out, but I think Hecarim pops the Speedy Boy, and he will get out, but that is a lockup on him. Hugh flashing out, goes defensive. Damage coming out now on the Butter Chicken will be enough. Hugh gets the kill on Trundle. Now Iron is super low, does not have access to the mount. He needs auto attacks. I don't know if it'll be enough. One more will do it, but Shane gets the kill. He's going to die to tower, but it's enough. His Maiden is still up there, and that's going to be some plates going into DZG's pocket. The 700 gold as they take the 2v2 fight, and they pick up 2 kills.
Yeah, it looked like Yorick got a little greedy and autoed and didn't wait for that Trundle to kind of get the tower aggro first.
Yeah, he still has access to the board. Maiden's up there doing work. Now Dracana looking to play really aggressive here. Shockwave coming out will be enough. Barrier popped, and Dracana with the solo kill with the Deadly Mega.
Lucky
Not gonna lie, I was a little worried about that one. Didn't have access for the Petrifying Gaze there, Silo.
Well, the thing is, with Orianna, she wants to scale, and Cassiopeia just kind of wants that sustained fight. So the longer a fight sustains, the better it is for her, typically in the early game. So it was always going to be her favorite onto the Cassiopeia. It was just interesting to see why Orianna would ever allow a Cassiopeia ever that close when she has that ball.
And it's always just really feels bad. Maybe she thought the Shockwave would be the deciding factor, but she still, or Deadly Megan still didn't have barrier for that last fight, right? And they must have felt pretty safe because they had access to the flash and just opted not to use it. Now, I know that they were grounded for a good duration of that, as it will be Ivory looking aggressively, and this might be a little bit more than just a little trade here, and no, it's just going to be that little trade. So there was so many cooldown differentials used, and Megan must have thought Shockwave versus not having Petrifying Gaze, it's good. But this is not a Nationals 2 for Orianna. You're not going for the auto attack wins here. Cassiopeia will beat you out in the DPS fight for sure.
Yeah, and we're looking at Dracana's tier almost halfway to being full, while Orianna literally is at half of that. So a quarter of the stacks.
Butter Chicken is down here, has access to the Onslaught of Shadows, might be looking for something a little cheeky. I don't think the members of DZG's bot lane know. And this tower in the top lane is looking dangerously low. That push from both Cute and Shane after that kill was huge, but things out going on to DZG Astro, flashes to get away, cannot take the lantern because it was not backed into it, does get the lantern. Now Cute is down here to turn this fight. That was Petrifying Gaze used on the Megan, will it be enough? No, barrier will save them yet again. DZG Astro did survive in that bot lane play. DZG picked up the Drake, and this is going so well for DZG in this early.
Yeah, surviving that bot lane gank definitely made a huge impact, but you could see a little bit of this synergy, I would say, simply because the Thresh didn't know. He threw the lantern and then also wanted to get closer to try to peel off, and that lantern almost went nowhere for Caitlyn. So if it was any, if the bot lane for Sun was any closer, they might have been able to do something about the two of them.
Certainly, and you know, it was just a really good heads-up play there from Cute to be onto that Drake and said, hey, I don't know where Hecker is, but I feel comfortable doing this. And then when DZG needed to retreat, she was just in the perfect position. Now Ivory going in all aggressive. He did get dismounted, but Butter Chicken is on the top side. Shane puts down the baby cage and will be gaining a lot of space here. And Butter Chicken just not coming up. Now Shane going aggressively. Will he be able to hit flashes? Four does get the solo kill onto Kled. And now he will be able to get a lot of push here. Now DZG mid laner and jungle here getting onto Butter Chicken, and he will fall. Dracana picking up that one, and DZG will be smacking this tower. I imagine that's going to be a Rift Herald soon after. And every single position DZG is coming up against.
Yeah, the advantage definitely with the top fight, it's definitely going toward the Yorick. I honestly think Sun might want to invest another ban into top lane, but it might not make a difference because Shane has quite a few champs to pick from.
Certainly, and if you know, we talked about how this game could look, right? Now it's still super early to tell, but there's a 4K gold lead at 11 freaking minutes right now. That is insane. But you know, we talked about the way that this game could go, and this lead being blown up like this is going to really make it hard for them to be able to answer this York in the side lane or just deathball somewhere else. And DZG picked up the Herald. They're going to be dropping it mid, and getting Dracana super far ahead this early is absolutely massive for the side of DZG, especially since Jinx is down almost 30 CS in that bot lane. Alright, Herald popped here, and he's taking a lot of damage, but it's not enough to do anything or anything But Butter Chicken's looping around here. Oriana has access to the Shockwave. One Slot of Shadows is available for Hecarim as well. But I think he was spotted out on Vision there. They get the charge, and I think that's going to be all she wrote. Now, Ivern needs to play careful. Baby Cage does a lot of work, and so does Maiden, and like 16 different freaking minions that are available to Shane. But man, it's just Hullbreaker into literally anything feels bad if you're not the side with the Hullbreaker there, Silent.
Yeah, I mean, Shane with the wards is definitely making impact, especially, and even with the mid wards, it's definitely impacting Hecarim's ability to honestly run down anyone. So honestly, I think that full clear kind of was detrimental to his early game. I honestly think he could have made an early impact on top side a lot earlier, and that would have helped this play.
Well, one thing that I found super amusing to see is that it was a race between whether Cassiopeia would get the first item or complete that tier up. That's 285 stacks on that tier at 13 minutes. Dracana is doing work on this Cassiopeia. They're going to be an absolute menace to society here, as Shane just pushing in top lane, and I don't think Butter Chicken wants to come up here anymore.
No, it's definitely not advantageous, especially since Cuz lost almost every ability to actually make an impact. But we'll see how the rest of this game is going to pan out since we're looking at the dragon. Will the rest of Sun group up for this dragon, or will they attempt to stop this York split push?
Well, Butter Chicken coming up here doing almost nothing, but I think he actually just might die. Pops the Onslaught of Shadows to run away, and he still almost gets destroyed by Shane there. That is not the fight that you want. This man has Hullbreaker. He's 2-0. I'm sorry, 2-2 on this York. He's definitely a scary split push threat for sure, and I think he actually might be able to straight up just 2v1. The only issue that he's going to have is the Grievous Wounds coming up from the Bear Trap on a rope out of Kled. But we will have a Cloud Drake coming up in 30 seconds, and I think DZG are primed to take that objective.
After burning Hecarim's ult down on top side, I honestly don't think that they should even make an impact play for this because it is Cloud Drake.
He's walking into the jungle now, looking for Clowny, but will not be able to find the lockup that they needed to do anything. But scaring them out of the jungle and having complete pressure with 14 seconds on this Drake is going to feel good. Caitlyn sitting on 150 gold bounty just from the CS differential that this bot lane's able to generate. Hook connects, and it will be Clowny taking a lot of damage. Pops Wild Rose to get away, but it will not be enough as the Eternal Pillar pops her back in, and DZG Astra takes that one down. Kled now using charge in the mid lane, trying to get onto Dracana here. Has access to the ultimate, flashes backwards, uses Petrifying Gaze to get one. Ivern now under tower, but Dracana will fall, and it will be Butter Chicken picking that one up. DZ responding now in the mid lane. Duke going on to Deadly Megan, pops the smite, pops the kill, and that will be also Astro picking up on two. Ivern's Kled there as they're trying to run down Butter Chicken. He pops the Ghost, he pops the E. He's trying to get away, but he's been between DZG's full entire team and Shane. But Shane says, hey man, you're not worth it. I'm going after these towers. Top tower falls, and DZG just running this map down. The only thing they didn't get there was the Drake, but that is a 6k gold lead at 15 minutes. Feels damn good if you're a DZG fan.
Yeah, Sun definitely made a macro play mistake by trying to force this dragon. They knew they had no ability to get into it, and then you literally watched Hecarim try a gank without using the Ghost, so he's not even really using his summoners efficiently.
Man, not at all, and this is literally just a monumental increase, right? DZG need the momentum here. They have their threats. They have what they want to do identified. Now, I think they should send Shane down to the bot lane, but DZG prioritizing the strike first and then sending him to the mid lane. Butter Chicken going in for it, trying to look for the smite, but he went way too early. Duke getting on top of him, but I think it's the DZG that's actually on top of him as well. That last auto attack followed the Onslaught of Shadows over the wall, and that would be Astro now sitting 3 and on this Caitlyn. Absolutely just destroying DZG, coming up just so strong every single position. And that is almost a completed tier on Cassiopeia, and that is going to be scary as well. Shane now on the bot lane, and it will be another 3 minutes until Baron's available, but next Herald should be coming up soon, and unfortunately, we get a Mountain Soul for our troubles.
Honestly, the Mountain Soul is deadly, especially if that Yorick split push continues happening. I don't see them ever being able to kill this Yorick.
Well, these towers are looking more like a cannon minion with how fast they're just getting deleted off of Summoner's Rift. DZG now setting up both their bot lane members to deal with Jinx, who's just saying, hey, I got what I wanted, and I'm recalling to get out of here. and that's going to be a lot of CS going into Astro's pocket. Bane has Clowney to deal with here in the bot lane. Yeah, they're sending Ivern down here as well. Maybe wild charge. Yeah, there's the charge now going in. They do have access to the Mega Death Rocket, goes in, does miss. That was a polymorph. Now Shane just walking this one out. Ivern looking to continue the chase here, and Bane instantly dismounts him, pops him out, and I think he's probably going to turn on this. Maybe not. He's just cutting this one out. Now Chicana coming down here to answer as well. Does hit with this poison, but will it be enough? There's a lot of members of Stun down here. Chicana now gets hit by the shockwave. Damage following up. Uses Petrifying Gaze to get out. Lantern not seen, not taken. Things out. Will slain Chicana here, as that's all 5 members of Sun Church down here to get 1 kill. But hey, those picks definitely helped them try to get back into this, as DZG now set their sights on the rift there.
Yeah, I think there was a little communication error because the lantern didn't get picked up. Dracana rotated over to help out Shane, and it actually didn't help. So we'll see how this game continues, because we said DZG Styx is dependent on macro, and if this communication errors continue happening, it's going to be difficult to pull out a win.
Well, Pillar comes in, the death sentence does not connect, so I think everybody's going to be fine there. But no, you're absolutely right. DZG need to keep the gas pedal engaged. And if they falter, they get some of these carries and gold that they need to come back, then it's going to be really hard for DZG to win straight-up team fights. The macro needs to be in their favor, or they need to... Honestly, they can win most 4v5s. This is going to be an objective bounty going into Cled's pocket, most likely. Yeah, never mind, he does not have the minions to do it. Dracana is down here to answer. And they're sending Shane back up to the top lane.
It's going to be interesting to see if Sun's going to also rotate their champions, since Cled was easily able to run down the Cassiopeia earlier. So honestly, having the swap between the Orianna so that she can have her ball kind of CS from a distance and have Cled be able to engage on Cassiopeia, it could actually be better for Sun, but at the same time, it does look like they're going to try that.
Oh my, well, DZG still have access to the Rift Herald. I imagine that's probably going to get dropped in the mid lane, but unless you have a better idea for it, I think that's probably what DZG should do to really to pick up this tempo again in their favor, especially with Nash coming up in about 30 seconds.
Honestly, they could always drop the Rift bot lane.
There's nothing to say there other than good night, Deadly Megan. Now Butter Chicken coming up here, and I don't think he wants any of that either. DZG pick up kill in the top lane. DZG pick up the mid lane tower, and Shane is just continuing on without a care. Oh, Dracana and Ivern are going to be fighting here. Grounding goes out, but it's not going to do too much. Dracana pumping out a lot of damage. No, the dismount of the Petrifying Gates, but it will not be enough as Barrier came out, and Dracana takes down Ivern in the 1v1. Shane now breaking into this base, just doing work. Rift Herald pop. DZG are going to get a lot off of that as one inhibitor falls. 20 minutes, and now Nash is available on the table. DZG will also get that mid lane tower. Now they're sending Butter Chicken down to kill Dracana, who has literally nothing left, but I don't know what's going to happen here. Dracana has a lot of damage, pumps it out, flashes away. Onslaught of Shadows won't be enough. Dracana will, and he will fall, as Butter Chicken does get a little bit of a redemption kill, but eventually ticks down to both minions and a poison, and that's a 1-for-1. And, man, it's like, every single time that Sun Church, like, oh, we gotta win. It's like, congratulations. Like, you were looking for a buck, you found a quarter. You take what you can get, but still, I don't think that'll be enough.
Yeah, everything is going DZG way. Although I think that they might have honestly been able to be a little bit more efficient with the Rift Herald by honestly swapping York to bot side and dropping a Rift with him, so that way you have the Rift and the Hullbreaker and just going for Baron straight out.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a bad story here for Ivern. He's probably going to have to pop the charge to get away, but it will be 3 members of DZG coming down here to ruin his entire life. He pops a charge, it does nothing. Now he's trying to run up and dismounted, hooked, and dead. And whoa, that was one hell of a heal here. He's probably going to get another remount. Just kidding. Cute on a killing spree. DZG have a Drake if they want it, and I think they do. And, yeah. You can't step up in this situation. You literally can't. You have no vision. Look at the map right now. DZG, their whole entire bot side is controlled by them. There was no way Cled could have known anybody was coming.
Yeah, that Jinx has to be sad, because she's basically spent her entire game trying to get to the items so that she can carry this game, and her solo lanes are completely being flat.
certainly. Well, DZG said, hey, we need to accelerate the tempo. The thing to do it's got to be a Nash. They have a 10k gold lead. They have 3 Drakes, and they're going to have a Nash in their pockets as well. I hate to say it, but I think this is DZG's game to lose. If, or DZG's game to win, to lose, whatever the case may be, it's in their hands. It's their choice right now. They need to seriously fuck up if Sunchurch want to have a chance to bring this one back.
Nope, I definitely agree, and I'm hoping to see a 4-1 with 4 people mid and just Lord bot lane and just continues bulldozing this team.
Right, and they really, at this point, this is the part of League of Legends that is typically the most infuriating. You have a top lane and hit broken, you have all the objectives on the map, so it's not like you can get this big thing to lure the enemy out. The enemy team needs to turtle. They're going to put Jinx in the top lane, they're going to farm up as much as they can, and now it's really being able to identify the weak point of the turtle shell, so to speak, to really break open this base and break open the game here. But Ivern, he's not turtling at all. He's stepping up as far as he can to get as much CS in his pocket. And Shane's now going to be down here, and I think you got your wish. This is definitely looking like the 4-1 you want to do.
Yeah, it looks like Trundle's gonna hover inside the jungle and see which side that they need help with, and they're just gonna push in. I don't think that top lane is pushed out quite far enough. Eventually it's just gonna crash at the same time as both of the laners.
Yeah, Jinx needed to try to push that one out, probably to the river if possible. Safely, of course, otherwise, you just get caught in clues. But DZG just need to chill here and apply as much pressure as possible, and those super minions got to be answered, and that should give you the weakness in the turtle shell. But DZG say, fuck it, we got the range. They just shred through mid lane tower like it's butter. And now they're breaking out, they're giving Yorick some time, they're giving that top lane some time, and then they're going to come right back into this in hit, but it's going to be the side of Sunchurch looking to fight. Onslaught of Shadows goes in, but he's instantly stunned up, not getting anything there. Crocus gets the kill on that one. Ivern trying to go forward and will get, I think that was Desolate going back in. Fang's out, now going to be destroyed as well. DZ2 just destroying every single member with the exception of Deadly Megan, but it's her time now, as that will be a lot of damage coming through. She flashes out to buy as much time as possible, but DZG have their sights set on the Nexus towers. 1 falls, 2 will fall, and the Nexus will join the Holy Trio, as that will be DZG Styx taking down the first game of the MetaShift Xenon League. First win going into their pocket, and I hope that we have a quick 2-0 series, and DZG just look unstoppable in game 1.
Yeah, if they can continue the honestly this entire honestly, I was just really impressed with the macro from DZG Sticks that I'm literally at loss of words. But honestly, if they can continue this momentum, it will really help for the rest of this league, especially if they have such a strong start early.
Certainly, and look at these damage charts here. Cassiopeia, the Dracana on this champion was just able to pump out so damage that Caitlyn wasn't needed. They're literally like a last hit bot. But I mean, the points that you needed to hold on and do well did fantastic. And even the one avenue that the side of Sunchurch needed to get ahead was never ahead. Like, cool, the damage charts don't tell the story of how Astra was 30 CS up on this individual for most of the game. Jinx coming in at a whopping 4,900 damage at the end of this game is what is really telling. And DZG, had a little bit of a sketchy moment when Kled was able to get that kill up in the top lane, but quickly able to turn it around, and Shane just popping off in the top lane. The solo kills coming out of Dracana in the mid lane were huge, and Cute was just everywhere she needed to be throughout that series, or throughout that game, sorry.
Yep, and we'll be on a short break and we'll get you to the next game.
Sounds fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back shortly.
Those hands and lights can't stop me. I just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky. Now with you, now with you, I'm with you.
And just like that, we are back. Not too much time in between here as we are getting right back into the bans. DZG are going to be playing on the blue side this game. Sunchurch did elect to take the red side here. And Ezra Yumi once again joining the chopping block, followed by Blitzcrank Kindred, and will we see the Pike joining that as well, as Evelyn is DZG's last ban. Silent Elements once again here with me, and we see Jinx taken away. What are some of the big draft adaptations you really want to see come out of Sunchurch to make sure that what happened last game doesn't happen second time to it?
So it looks like they already tried adapting to make sure that Astra does not get this Jinx. So I'm honestly trying to see if they're gonna force DZG Styx to play toward a similar ARAM style instead of allowing Shane to just kind of split push and kind of carry the game out of momentum.
Well, that is certainly a difference in AD carry there, as DZG Astro will be picking up a Misfortune. How do you feel about that one?
I honestly think it's a safe pick, especially with her ability to play either with Eclipse or Kraken. Honestly, the ricochets will help. It isn't as punishable compared to some of the other choices of ADCs.
Well, once again, we're getting another spicy pick that I personally didn't see coming. Aphelios joining into the bot lane here to match up against Astro's Misfortune. Now, one thing that I'm confident in is just based on how last game's lane phase went. DZG played, the lane really well. Astro setting up most of the time on CS. Now, there was no real 2v2 action, but would you pair a Lulu with this Aphelios here, Silent?
Honestly, I think anything can kind of go with Aphelios, but I think a Lulu would be optimal.
Now, we do see Graves coming in here for the side of Sunchurch, and I have not taken a close look at these OP.GGs and to differentiate whether or not that's jungle or top. Do you have any thoughts?
Honestly, I think that I would hope that it would be more of a flex pick since it seems that both jungle and top for Sun are junglers on their account, so the preference seems to be jungle. So I think it honestly could go either way, and I think that's the way they want to play it, especially with the split push top that they had last time.
Well, Dracana is once again getting that Cassiopeia and piloted to a dominating fashion last game. DZG Styx coming in with their last pick here for the blue side rotation. And I don't know, I imagine you want to pick up a support here to not show too much. But it's definitely going to be interesting. I'd love to see another hook champ coming out. I think Drakus played the lane really well, had some good looks, but I will take a Leona Misfortune lane any day of the week, Silent.
Honestly, I'm kind of expecting Sun to go with the Lulu choice again, simply because Leona kind of is countered by the fact that Lulu can polymorph and basically shield her ADC for as long as necessary, while Leona wants to stun repeatedly.
Certainly. And just Solar Flare mixed with the Bullet Time combination coming out of that lane is just absolutely devastating if it connects. And to answer it, they lock in a Nami. Not the best AD carry to pair it with, but Nami certainly is super strong right now. How do you feel about the Aphelios Nami versus the Misfortune Leona?
I think that Leona is going, if as long as she's landing her Zenith Blade, honestly, I think she's going to run the lane. Nami is not a good choice into a Leona, and only those that honestly play it day in, day out, as in One Trick Pony, should ever try this.
Well, if only we knew somebody that played Nami One Trick Pony to give us a little bit more insight, but we'll have to wait for that because I don't think any of them exist. But we are getting back into our bans here as Trundle was taken away from DZG Styx. They did not like what Cute was doing to them on that champion. Jace will join the ban table, and Renekton. That was quick. Not what we thought was going to be taken away, but Renekton joins as well. DZG Styx, with their last answer, say, we don't want the Kled.
Yeah, I mean, they are making adaptations and saying, the top lane was more of a problem. And honestly, with mid already being picked, why not ban out Shane's main?
Well, Shane will not have access to that. I know that he has certain champions that he would like to play. I hope he wasn't being serious when he was talking about playing them, but it will be the Anivia coming in here for Sunchurch. That lane and wave clear is just absolutely insane. But kind of looking at the priorities that we see coming out of the side of Sunchurch, I'm thinking that's going to be a Jungle Graves here, Silent.
Honestly,
and it will be Fiddlesticks joining.
I have not seen that many Fiddlesticks, so I think this will be an actual interesting game. But I mean, with the amount of AoE effects from Misfortune, Cassiopeia, Leona, Fiddlesticks, I think we are about to get a 5v5 potentially.
Well, there's one motto Sunchurch needs to have this game, and it is do not group and ward everything. But DZG say, you know what? We'll take a crazy chaotic 4v4 and literally just send Yorick back to the side lane. But I still think that is a top lane Yone locking in to fight against the Yorick, and um, it's a different answer than the Kled, that's for sure. But Yone certainly can scale into this late game just as hard as a Jinx can. Um, Granted, has a little bit more of the onus on being able to be piloted correctly, but man, that is an interesting draft coming out of both sides here, Silent. Certainly not what I expected to see at all.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if Sun's adaptations are quite the right move. Honestly, seeing that Yone, if it really is going in top lane, there's one trait that you can already know about their top lane is that they enjoy fighting and they want to continuously fight. So I would, if that is a Yone top, I would not be surprised if they run Ignite yet again. But I was hoping, honestly, the Graze is a better answer for the York, simply because he has that grit and he has the ability to move outside of the York's little cage, and he can just simply sustain, especially with a hull breaker to stay in the lane. But if that is a Yone top, I honestly think we are about to watch a repeat of last game.
Well, hopefully that goes in favor of Shane on this Yorick here. But, ladies and gentlemen, looking at DZG Styx right now, we have Yorick in the top lane, Fiddlesticks jungle, Cassiopeia in the mid lane, and Misfortune Leona for their bot lane. Stunchurch coming in with a Yone probably in the top, Graves jungle, Anivia mid lane, and Aphelios Nami for their bot lane. Silent, we see both teams. Who do you think has the advantage?
If the game happens the same way that it happened last game, where Yorick gets a lead, it's honestly in favor of Styx. This momentum is Styx's game to lose because they have the Leona to engage. Nami basically does not want to be in the picture at all, so Philios and Nami have to have this great synergy to walk up at the same time in order to make sure that he can see us safely and take the bait of the 50-50 chance that Leona is going to Zenith Blade to them. Um, Mid lane, another shake hands, hopefully, because now that Oriana doesn't have a ball to walk up to, and now it's Anivia, hopefully they both can stay at range and just continue farming up to the next team fight. But I think top lane is going to be where we're really focused on again. Honestly, I think both bot lanes are just going to have some minor trades, but I don't think we're going to see much action. Honestly, I think it's literally going to be a top lane deciding factor for this game as well.
Oh, I definitely agree. I think the 4v4 DCG Styx combination is just absolutely destructive. And one thing that Sunchurch, it's something we didn't really talk about. One thing that they need to fix if they're going to be handling this draft from DZG is their vision game. Last game, it was extremely lacking. Now, granted, they never really had the tempo and never really had the safety to go out and set up, but another thing to consider with an enchanter bot lane is you don't have the safety to send them into the darkness of despair to go ward, otherwise they're going to get blown up. They need a warding buddy. And you definitely need to make sure your vision game's on point, otherwise Fiddlesticks is going to have a surprise birthday party, and it's actually going to be a surprise funeral for the individuals of Sun Church. But ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, we see all the champions, no crazy surprises coming out of here. We got our thoughts coming in from Silent, and I want to see in the chat right now whether you think Yone on this Ivern or Ivern on the Yone, whichever the hell we're calling it, is going to be taking Ignite or Teleport. Go ahead and drop that in the chat and we'll see who's right. I personally think he's going to take Clarity for all of his mana problems. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head into our quick spectate delay, and we'll be bringing you Game 2 of DZG Styx as they take on again Sunchurch. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back as both teams take once again to the Rift. DZG Styx on the blue side this game, and it will be Sunchurch on the red side. Silent, yeah, went ahead and saw one thing, but let's go hear it and hear it. What do we see just coming out of Runes and Masteries here?
30 seconds
Oh, we
until
do
minions
see the
spawn.
Yone running with the TP, so honestly, it looks like they're going to join team fights this time. I think an honestly surprising choice is the Anivia is running Ignite still. Honestly, I would have preferred the TP as well. I'm not quite sure why they're running Ignite since Anivia should never be close enough for that team fight. And we're looking at another cleanse from the ADC. In terms of runes, it looks like everyone's running traditionally what they
Minions have
are
spawned.
normally running. There's nothing surprising there. It does look nice that Dracana is running that barriers to counteract that ignite. So I guess he predicted that there would be a ignite from the Nivea again.
Well, he took barrier last game, and man, the barriers were just so exciting to watch because they made such a difference. Okay, not exciting. It was like it was anticlimactic, but yeah, no, Deadly Megan, interesting choice. You take barrier on Oriana, which makes sense, and then you turn around and take ignite on Anivia. I guess they want to come in like a fucking bird from hell and just swoop in on somebody and ignite them. But it's a little bit of a thematic difference too. The Frostbird taking the Fire Summoner. So definitely interesting, but definitely want to also highlight again Ivern taking the teleport, which we were both wrong. We thought, oh, Yone, he's gonna play aggressive, go with that ignite again, but I think he might have learned his lesson to maybe try to stagnate from this York push. But also at the same time, how much that Cute wanted to push him out of lane last game, you know, getting in there, making sure he's not losing out on that CS is going to be important as well. So definitely a lot of interesting looks, and I really want to see how this game's going to boil out here, Silent.
Yeah, honestly, I would have reversed it if anyone had to run Ignite. Honestly, I would have thought that the Yone should run Ignite simply because he wants to duel the whole entire time, and the Kled kind of wants to join the team fight. So a TP to counteract York's Hull Breaker from last game would have been great for his team to have a death ball. But look at these, look at this exchange. An Ignite would have been epic for this.
Certainly a lot of scrappiness going up there in the top lane, but I mean, yeah, you learned your lesson and then didn't apply it correctly, and that's something that we saw here, because I completely agree. Like, Yone with an Ignite, beautiful. Kled with an Ignite, situation. Now that's a Zenith Blade kind of going in. That's going to be a lot of damage on a Clowny. Will it be enough? Ignite going to tick? Will it be enough? No, I think the potion's going to save Clowny's Nami there, but damn, that was extremely close. Flash burn, though, for their troubles.
Yep, but if she takes another Zenith Blade, I'm pretty sure she's gonna die because she stayed in lane.
Oh, absolutely. That was a lot of damage coming out. Astro running the Comet, definitely landing that anytime Zenith Blade connects. And yeah, DZG's bot lane just feeling very comfortable here in this 2v2 once again. Not seeing the insane CS numbers that we saw last game, but it's definitely starting to be a little bit of a tempo swing in their favor. As Shane is completely content just trying to farm up as much as possible. Butter Chicken hovering around on this top side of the map.
Yeah, I think with the fact that both the junglers started on opposite sides of the map, you're looking at...
That's a flash. That's, Truck is going forward, and that's first blood. You are right, Zenith Blade connected, but it wasn't just that. Huge aggressive play coming up there, and Truck is blowing everything, and that is first blood going into DZG Astro's pocket. Sorry for the interruption.
No, honestly, after that last fight, there is no reason that Nami should have been up there.
Shane forced the flash out there, looking aggressively forward on the Ivern, but Shane able to flash out of that one to safety. Ooh, it was close though. Ivern almost falling to just a 2v1 fight as Yorick's damage output is just insane. Should pick up this gold, or this wave, balance out the CS lead a little bit, but mid lane, it's 10 CS difference right now. That is feeling real good for Tricana.
Yep, his Cassiopeia is definitely a beat.
We're not gonna talk about it. We're Alyssa is crying. I hear it in the background of my brain. Alyssa saw that bubble and is crying, as that is Cute going in and taking whatever she damn well pleases. And DZG just once again with it, an insanely early game tempo, already generating a 1k gold lead here, Simon.
Yeah, with Nami's positioning, maybe she should have went cleanse instead of exhaust.
we're not going to talk about it. It's fine. As Shane goes aggressive here yet again, has not taken the recall yet. That is going to be a Vamp Scepter differential here. He goes forward with the E. Will it be enough? Now he's got to kite this out. He's going to snap back, and Shane will be fine. I think he takes the recall here, but he's on a ward. I don't know if anything cheeky is going to come of that. Is Butter Chicken not going to be able to get there in time, and I think Shane gets out of this alive. They're kind of in a little bit of a suspect position, the sweeper pop, but they will be able to see this. And DZG just feeling pretty comfortable in this early game.
Yeah, this Graves has no ability to really make an impact in a lane due to short range, so all he can do is kind of make this short lunge. Oh, we're gonna get a pause thing.
Probably get a pause. Maybe it was just a quick DC. No, Nami is hightailing it back to base. Nobody's fighting. There it is. So, easy identification on this pause right here. It's going to be a support disconnect, and maybe they were lagging a little bit ago, and that could have explained the beautiful bubbles, as we'll call them. But yeah, kind of just taking a state of the game right now. DZG looking very favorable.
A summoner has reconnected.
Cannot see the chat, so we don't know what's happening. But we did see Clowny reconnect, so hopefully we'll be getting you right back into the action. But yeah, looking at some of the items, Shane did opt to pick up the boots there to give him a little bit more sustain against survivability against this Yone damage. We do see the Hex Tech item picked up by the Fiddlesticks. Graves going for his lethality build as we are back into the action. And neither mid laner has recalled yet, so nothing exciting going on there. But we're getting the lethality build out of the Misfortune for Silent.
Yeah, this is gonna be really good for the MF, especially since none of the other team is really tanky. So Eclipse would kind of be that kind of champion that they want to build that they would go with.
Yeah, absolutely. As we get a little bit of the spectate deliciousness out here because Riot Games can't fix their client, we are back into the action. So yeah, DZG 1,000 gold lead still, and we do have a Cloud Drake on the map as our first thing to look at. While it's not the best thing in the world, DZG definitely get a lot of their ultimates here. Compared to, I think, the side of Sun Church, whose ultimates are a little bit more on the lackluster side. That's getting ultimate cooldown definitely feels damn good.
Yeah, I'm currently amusing myself by looking at the vision score for both teams, and I'm still looking at mid lane and DZG's ADC both having 0 and both having 2 vision wards that they're sitting on.
Well, I mean, you know, it's kind of like the hindsight, right? It's 2020. You can't really blame the team that has reported if they're not getting punished, so it's fine. Everything's okay, says the guy that always troubled reporting. But now both sides of the mid lane have recalled 2 Amp Tomes versus a Lost Chapter. Cassiopeia is going to come into this lane feeling fantastic, but it will be the side of Sun Church going after the first aggressive move for this Drake, and DZG not in a position to respond to. The bot lane will go off the book. They don't have ultimates available, and I don't think they're going to be able to do anything. Butter Chicken low, they're going to get that with ease. First Drake goes over the side of Sun Church.
Honestly, that looks extremely dangerous from the side of Sun, honestly. Although I'm not really sure why Graves is deciding to sit on bot push since they already know that he's bot side.
Yeah, but maybe they think he's right. Mine. But no, Cute definitely not on the right side of the map as it will be Ivern now getting put in the baby cage here, and Cute now heading up. Will they be able to get the ultimate off? They're looking for it, and they're going in. That E is definitely damning, and Shane gets the kill on that one. Beautiful gank coming in, and once you pop that E, you're just in a bad spot. You're kind of flashing forward. Petrifying Gaze does not connect, and not even popping the egg on that one. But that was a flash coming out of both mid laners, and I think, oh no, DZG Astro might be in a little bit of trouble. Graves going forward. He flashes out almost immediately, and now taking place in the top side of the map for the troubles from that gank. Cassiopeia should be getting in some mid lane damage as well, but I think she's hovering down to see if she can't assisticate her bot lane. But yeah, DZG once again finding what they need in the top side, dissuading everything on the bot side. Mid lane, they have the aggressive look, and now they're setting their sights on the Herald. Ivern's coming in here to do something, but I don't think he'll be enough, and I don't think this is something that he wants. He's put in the baby cage now, he is forward, but he also now tries to get on top of the flame, but Shane literally took no damage in that exchange in the first portion of it. DZG get a kill and a Rift Herald for their troubles.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we did see Astro put down her ward, so she will get from 0 to 1 shortly, and I'm not quite sure when we'll see Anivia put down her first yellow trinket.
This is going to be the highlight of Silence Day. She's looking for rewards. As Megan's trying to do everything that they can to dissuade this Cassiopeia aggression, but unfortunately, it just seems like they're going to be dropping the Glacial Storm, picking up all the CS that they can, and literally just trying to not look in Cassiopeia's direction for obvious reasons. But Cassiopeia, 9 minutes into the game, 200 stacks on this tier, and just farming beautifully well. DZG just across the board generated the 3k gold lead. This is good to see if you're a DZG fan.
Yeah, bot lane is able to create that pressure with the Leona, and Nami isn't really able to counteract that, so all lanes seem to be going in favor of DG, even jungle, so with the exception that they did get the first dragon, but I'm not really sure if Cloud Drake is really worth writing home about so far.
Certainly not, especially with Infernal being the next one on the table, and DZG sitting in a prime position to be able to fight that. Ivern, he might be in a little bit of trouble here. He's fighting the main, he's fighting Shane, but now he will try to flash to safety. Will it be enough? Keep going into the bot lane, layered with the bullet time, does get the kill on the things out. Ooh, it's ticking. Will it be enough? Corrupting Potion does not seal the deal on Ivern in the top side, but DZG know how to close out the case on the bot side. Q now 2-0 on this middle Styx, and that is a scary-ass Scarecrow. As now they're kind of going forward, getting a lot of damage. He's going to shove Megan out. Shane, once again, now picking his target, blowing them to high health. This tower is not going to be long for the world if Shane's ever left alone with it. But DZG getting 3 plates in the bot lane, getting a kill, and DZG now setting, once again, 4k gold lead super early. And we talked about history repeating itself, Silent. And you said if the game goes like it did last game, we're going to be very well positioned for DZG. Shane's ahead. Cute's ahead. DZG with a 30 CS lead in the bot lane, plus a kill this time. History certainly repeating.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Sun's going to attempt to kind of react to all of this pressure, because at the moment they're losing on 3 different fronts. Are they going to try to group early, or are they going to try to stay in their lanes and just try to farm up as fast as possible to try to make a comeback at least possible, because at the moment it does not look favorable at all.
Certainly not. And I mean, you do have some scaling-ish in the form of Yone and Anivia, but Anivia is literally just hiding, dropping ultimate to clear waves, and Yone is now 0-2, and Shane is just hitting him with whatever he wants, sending minions to do whatever they want to do, and just bullying this tower. It's 1 plate for the side of, about to be 4, as he did not connect with the Demolish there, but Harold, that's going to be made picking up the last plate that he wants on that push there, but yeah, it's just domination across the map. It's Butter Chicken hopefully coming up from the side of Sun Church to do something about this. Ivern going forward, Shane looking for the snapback point, but he does see Butter Chicken up here as well. He's going to be running away a little bit, and I think he has enough power to turn this. He does have no flash available. He's running. It's going to be the Yone ult connecting, and I think this will be it as the collateral damage comes in, but it was ultimately Ivern, only Yone picking up that kill.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if that was worth the trade, because York will still do York things, and that they are trading an Infernal Drake for that.
Certainly DZG with a smart answer on the opposite side of the map, that is what they need. And that was Hullbreaker now picked up for Ivern, so if that gank happens again, I think he should be able to 2v1. Honestly, I think he probably should have tried instead and tried to get at least 1 for his troubles. Because with how strong he was compared to the Yone, I think he would have gotten away with it.
Potentially, but we will never know now.
Certainly will not. Drakus now hovering here in the mid lane, flashes forward, and that does force the flash, but they still go! That is going to be grounding popped out, but I think they still have access to the egg. Drakus is going to die. Now, we are seeing the tidal wave coming in from Clowny to answer, and that was DZG just biting off more than they can chew. You have access to the egg. Don't tower dive it, DZG. Come on!
Turret plating will soon
Yeah, it might be just some small miscommunications, or because I think honestly, Dracona.
Oh, Dracana's now in trouble as that wall will connect, but now, hey, call the ambulance, but not for me. Dracana goes and kills Nami. I'm sorry, kills Anivia, and Q comes in with the ultimate to pick up the Nami. DZG responds. Now, Tower in the top side, that should fall as Shane is doing what he wants to. And DZG still sitting comfortably with 6,000 gold.
Yeah, honestly, it seems to be going exactly the same as last game. I think the momentum from last game has given Drakus a little bit more liquid courage than than we thought he would be capable of, and he dove a turret for it. But I mean, Anivia lost her egg, and eventually she actually tried to force another fight, knowing she didn't have passive, and died for it.
You know what?
So
She was empowered by the. She was like, I've got the damage, I can do this. Unfortunately, that was not the case, as Barrier came up king for Dracana there in that mid lane fight. Now, DZG sent their mid lane, sent their bot lane mid, and Sunchurch responding in kind. And once again, Astro sitting on a dominant 50 CS lead over Fang's Out.
yeah, and we're looking at the jungler. Honestly, I'm not quite. Honestly, I would have preferred this Graves to be a top pick simply because this Graves is not making an impact on the map compared to his Hecarim. I mean, at least the Hecarim had mobility to get into a lane and try to make an impact. But right now, we're literally looking at him kind of roam and try to make things happen. But because of his short range and literally lunge and inability to kind of have his laners help him, he's not able to do anything.
Butter Chicken is not safe in his own jungle. Is now Fiddle Sticks going forward. Pops the ultimate. Did not. I think that got interrupted. Full time coming over the top, but it will not be enough. Now Cute taking a lot of damage. Yone ultimate to get away. And I think this will temper aggression. Astro playing frontline, getting a lot of damage out. Clowny is now the target. Solar Flare connects, but it will be Astro that will take the kill. Dracana now on the bot lane, trying to do everything that she can. Petrifying Gaze will be enough. Grounded, dead, deadly Megan falls. DZG now on the top side of the map, just controlling the jungle. They are doing whatever they damn well please. 7,000 gold lead. DZG. Death Rush in the enemy jungle at 15 minutes while mid lane tower is available. Channeling coming through, and it will be Xenon's way connecting things out. Ultimate comes through, and that will be them falling. Hero drop in the mid lane, picks up one tower, picks up two towers as Shane is here to smack everything in its mother. Grace has to dash out, otherwise he'd be next to the chopping block, and that will be a third Rift Herald charge. They're kind of now going to be fighting Yone here on the bot side. Ivern taking a lot of damage, and I think they will get the shutdown, and it will be Dracana Falls. But after everything, one kill for everything that the side of Sunchurch lost, not worth it for them.
Agreed, and it looks like there's might be another fight soon.
Oh, well, I don't know if that's much of a fight other than Cube just picking up a kill as Protobelt comes through and now on a rampage. 4-0-4 on this Fiddlestick. And like we said, Scary Scarecrow earlier, that has doubled in kind of its deadly potential there.
Yeah, this fiddle is making impact across the map. His ults have been really impactful, and we're just literally looking at potential. I want to say that lanes were strong already, but the jungle gap is kind of growing in terms of impact on the game.
Currently 10-3 is the score line. We have Ocean Drake coming up next. And I know they call it the Therapy Drake, but I don't think there's any amount of therapy that's going to be able to help the PTSD that the members of Sunchurch are going to be facing after this series. But DZG, once again, foot on the gas pedal. This is their game to lose, to win, whatever they decide to do. 100% their tempo. As now Shin just going through members, Dragon going to be spawning in 5 seconds. There is no way that the side of Sunchurch should be able to get this one. Even if they want it. DZG now have 4 members down here. They're looking for Puddle Chicken, who is now grounded. He literally, I think, just last cone in place. Astro, bullet times over the top, takes him down. Zenith Blade connects now onto Clowny, who was going to try to get out, but I don't know if it will be enough. They are able to get out with the speed here. Shane fighting Ivern in the top side, and I really don't think he has a care in the world. DZG set their sights on the Drake. It's theirs.
Yeah, this top laner, I want to say that his playstyle seems to be extremely selfish because that TP has not been utilized to help his team in any shape, way, or form. It's literally been used to get him into a lane and kind of exist. So honestly, why not run Ignite?
Granted, there's still, it's only been 4 minutes that he could use Unleash Teleport somewhere else, but no, I completely agree with you. He's been looking out for number 1. He's got a few things, a few kills, but definitely not worth the amount of pressure that Shane's been able to help him here. But these fights are starting to look like they're going in his favor. Shane does not have access to the Maiden right now, needs to be careful. But the rest of DZG are up here. That is going to be Astro playing frontline again, very aggressive here. Zenith Blade misses, that was a flash out from Ivan, but does connect with Flash Q. Now DZG in the 2v3 situation. Astro needs to kite out, but snap back from Ivan. Now he needs to... I don't even know what's going on here. Dracus will be taken down as Ivan does go back in, and DZG just bit off more than they can chew with that play, for sure.
You can definitely see the communication errors as they took turns going in one by one and then leaving one by one, so that all of them were never in.
That was the Q coming out from the Calibrum, followed by the Gravitum Nair, followed by collateral damage. Astro had a very bad time there. Now, so he's going to be trying to kite this one out. Has access to the Maiden this time. He might be able to turn this, but that's going to be a lot of healing coming in. And Butter Chicken there to follow up with Ivan, who did get his Immortal Shield Bow pop, but definitely not enough. And that's a good reply there from the side of, oh no, you're in a lot of trouble, Miss Bird. Will end up getting the root underneath the tower. Q not going to be able to take down the egg, as all the members of the side of Sun Church are going to be responding to come down here into this bot lane. DZG don't even get the tower for their troubles.
Yeah, and we're looking at Sun kind of come back and try to make an impact on the game as, I guess, a death ball and try to force out some kind of results. Honestly, the tempo is kind of slowing, and I wouldn't say it's in their favor yet, but it's starting to slide, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can continue it, or will it just kind of, is it just a short momentum gap?
Ivan grounded, he does ult forward, but he does immediately face the stopwatch from Q. Now he's going to be running for his life here as Dracana and Q try to get to him, but he turns around, tries to get some more damage out, but Dracana is so damn strong. They're now setting their sights to clear vision up here on the Nash, but I don't think they actually go for that objective, as DZG should theoretically be able to get this bot lane tower. Still sitting comfortable, still sitting on a 7k gold lead, but they definitely need to make sure that they can find their point of pressure and really step up their tempo yet again.
Yeah.
4 members to your mid lane. Oh, go ahead.
No, honestly, we're looking at both solo lanes push on the outside and Sun trying to force out mid, but they have no minions.
And with no minions comes no towers, and it will be York in the top side taking down another one for himself. He does not have to deal with Ivan, who probably is the only one capable of stopping him on his own. But they're now trying to send everybody. And just look at these map rotations that we've seen consistently throughout this game. Everything that Sun Church has done has been reactionary. The only times that they found anything was when DZG oversteps. York takes the tier 2 tower, they now send everybody up. Tower's already gone. Find someone else to play the map. But DZG said, hey, you know what, we're not going to give you the option, we're going to take Nash. And this should be theirs. Bonnie is now in position looking to get some vision here, but that Nash was gone before they could even drop a ward over the wall. DZG now Baron and Power. The pressure points that they should be able to generate off of this are going to be massive. If not, they take a Drake for their troubles and put themselves on soul point.
And I want to note that one key thing about the vision, it looks like none of Zone have invested in a blue trinket yet.
Yeah, very fantastic point. But hey, I would like to also point out that both mid laners have at least used their wards. Granted, Deadly Megan, not so much, but I mean, for the side of DZG's bot lane and mid, they are on cooldown. Now, Ivan going forward here. Shane does have access to the maiden. That was a fuck ton of damage. Immortal Shield Bow popped, and Shane feeling very comfortable in 1v1 when he has his minion.
It looks like the rest of Sun is investing in York and putting him down.
Well, they need to figure out what they want to do. I said make a play somewhere else on the map. They decide to go for the York. Now, Butter Chicken is kind of going in by himself, taking a lot of damage. Now, he's trying to kite it out. That's going to be members of DZG. Now, on the bot side of the map, I think they're going to get Drake, but that will be Shane falling on the top side for his troubles. Oh, no. We're going to have a base race here, Silent.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see literally every Drake that, for some reason, Sun is willing to give up this dragon every single time and try to force something on the York, but I feel like York just does York things. They're losing their base for it.
DZG take the first base tower, now setting their sights on the inhib. Drake will fall. They're now on soul point. They sent Dracana back to answer this 3-man push, and I think that'll be enough. DZG break into the base. They take a Drake, all for the loss of Shane in the tower. Well, granted, don't want to trade equal when you're this far ahead. But, I mean, still, that's pretty decent for DZG, and all things considered. Now they have another very strong pressure point to apply here with soul point. If this team gets an Ocean, I mean, the nail is almost already in the coffin. That's going to be the last hammer stroke you really need.
Yeah, Sun could have taken a very calculated risk and potentially just let DZG take the inhib just so that they can get a little bit more gold that they can farm safely instead of forcing this Yon to kind of extend all the way out past the river in order to get any kind of farm.
Well, it will be Drakus here chilling on the mid lane. Fiddlesticks looking to wait for wings to get something big, but I think they're just going to take literally all of this jungle. Now Dracana up here in the top lane dealing with Ivern on the Yone. And it will be the ultimate going forward. Fangs out taking a lot of damage, but it will be Clowny who falls to Astro. Now, Butter Chicken will be feared, stunned, smacked, ignited, everything in the kitchen sink, and a bullet time for the icing on the cake. Dracana goes gold, Ivern snaps back, and it will be a lot of damage coming out here now onto the Ivern. Petrifying Gaze connects, and Dracana will take them down. DZG have minions in all 3 points. They have a Yorick with Hullbreaker and a Maiden, and they have 3 members, of the enemy team dead. 1 inhibitor falls, mid lane tower falls, inhibitor number 2, should fall, fear, Megan will have to get out, Evercross not enough, does not get a snare, mid lane inhibitor falls. Dracana now on the top side will be pushing this minion wave in. DZG now rotating up to get this last of the Holy Trio, and double super minions will be extremely detrimental to face. Now, the side of Sunchurch need to do something, and I think they will defend this last inhibitor, but is literally just buying them an ounce of breathing room when I think they need a gallon.
Yeah, we're literally watching DZG Styx dismantle via macro. They're literally doing whatever they want, what they're getting, and outside of that one minor mistake in the top lane, honestly, they've played a pretty clean game.
Just very minor mistakes, but this is a team that we haven't seen play before, but for like in a competitive environment. We've seen them practicing for a while, and it really does my heart good to see all members of this DZG roster firing on all cylinders. So it's definitely enlightening. Just hey, don't tower dive into Nivea with egg, please, Drakus. That's all I ask. Ivern going forward here, but Shane does have access to the Maiden, and he says, nah, it's not worth my time. Mainly because he probably has PTSD of seeing like 30 different individuals of the Set of Sun. But once again, I want to point out this vision control. They know that Shane's going to be splitting in the top 7. Maybe they shouldn't, maybe Shane should be somewhere else, but that will be ultimate coming in here from Ivern, who will go forward. Shane's going to be taking a lot of damage, Maiden's still doing work here, as members of DZG are going to come answer. Solar Flare used there to dissuade. Now Astro's setting up, going front line again. Now it's going to be Keith coming here as well. He will connect with Astro in top speed to try to get out to safety, but there is nothing safe about that. Astro on a killing spree, 6-1 on this misfortune, and DZG on the top side of the map with Nash coming up in 37 seconds.
This Yon has overextended and DZG has taken advantage of it, except for that one time, and that was only because the rest of the team was able to react and save Yon from kind of inting himself. But at this rate, I don't think there's anything this team can do with Yon losing so hard on a champion that is kind of, I want to say that it's a 50-50 to begin with.
Well, now that's going to be a huge petrifying gaze. 2 members. She goes full time over the top. Butter Chicken. Thanks out. Fall. Cute now in the back line. Or I don't know what line it is. But will take down Clowny as well. And now DZG is 5 members strong here into the base. This should be the game. Yone is now alive, but I think it's too late. He does not have access to the fate sealed here, and DZG are just going to steamroll into this base. It goes forward, gets a lot of damage, keeps taking a lot of damage, full go gold here. Ivern goes forward, but it does not find anything. That is Yag out of Anivia. Now that is the death out of Anivia as Astro gets a double kill. Now 1 Nexus Tower, 2 Nexus Towers, and the Nexus will join as DZG in a very dominating fashion. 2-0 Sunchurch. Oh man, Silent. It's always good to see a very strong week one come out of a team, especially with this being the first ever series that we see DZG Sticks play. I love to see it. I love to see it.
Yeah, it definitely was a great game to watch, and for any DZG fan, it was great. For Sun, hopefully will have better luck with next week's game. And honestly, I there were only minor things that we can honestly say that DZG could have done better, but at the same time, they were still so strong. And honestly, the little things that we could pick are so minor that it's not even worth talking about. Honestly, they played a great game today, and on first week, I love to see what they will do for the rest of the season.
Certainly, and this is also another fantastic thing too is we saw excellent performances out of all five members of this roster. Shane, his split push, looking fantastic. The way he was just absolutely able to dismantle both of Ivern's top lane picks, the Kled and the Yone, and make them look, completely ineffective. Cute, always in the right place, right time, generating leads in the places that she really needed to, getting the objectives, like complete control. Dracana's damage, both games, Cassiopeia just absolutely insane. The solo kills, dismantled Deadly Megan. Bot lane, 30 to 45 CS differentials in both games, and Drakus with the roams and the picks with the Thresh and the Leona looked fantastic. Like it almost made it impossible to pick a player of the series, in my personal opinion. I think for the sake of consistency, I'd give it to Dracana. Um, but Shane generated so much in that top lane for his team and the pressure points. But Cute as well, just always really enabling the players to do what they needed to do. So I personally can't pick between the three of them.
I would definitely go give it to Cute because she made an impact on every lane. There were times where she saved Shane's hide, and she also got dragons when she couldn't save Shane's hides. And then for mid lane, it was a great play, but I honestly don't think it was great enough to say player of the game. And honestly, I want to say that in game one and game two, the jungle was able to make a difference in top lane, in game one, and then game two, she made a difference in bot lane. So I honestly will give it to Cute for player of the game for series.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's why he is the analyst color caster, and I just yell a lot. So, with that being said, everybody, thank you for coming out and seeing DZG Sticks perform admirably in their first game of the series. We hope to be bringing you more MetaShift action and more DZG Sticks action. But that's it for tonight. Tomorrow night, check out DZG Arcade. With that being said, have a good night, everybody.